Welcome back to Five Stars Realty Podcast. Today, we have Jessica Diaz. Jessica is a top producer, agent. She's a dedicated mother, and she is thriving as a career and with her life. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about what motivates her, what she's done to become a top real estate agent, and what else she can give you as tips and anything that has to do with real estate and with a family. So, Jessica, welcome today to the show. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So, tell us a little bit about what got you to this point in life as a real estate agent.
So it's actually going to be a really funny story, and I'm sure a million people have probably heard this story before, but my dad.
Okay.
I was probably a junior in nursing school, and he's always, done contracting and construction and all of that. And he, was like, all of a sudden he's like, hey, go get your realtor license. I'll pay for it. Just do it. Let's see where it goes. I was like, you know what, Dad? I was like, for what? I'm in nursing school. I have, what I think, at that time I was like, I have like my dream job, I'll be fine. I don't need this. And I did it. I passed the test, ended up, going into EXP, and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with, helping families. I fell in love with, actually my favorite thing to do is looking at different, houses and how they're, the paint colors, cabinets, things like that, because I always dreamed of having my home. So that's the funny story. It was my dad.
Oh, well, that's cool. That's cool. Like, I have not a lot of people tell me it's like my parents or somebody like pushed me towards it. So, what made you then, once you got your license, you did the hours, you did everything. Did you finish your, what is it, nurse?
Nursing, yes, I did. I am one of those that when I start something, I have to finish it. So I ended up doing both. I graduated nursing school, went into that full time. I was doing hemodialysis, and then I was doing real estate kind of like part time. And I think that I sort of discovered that I was a little tired of, working that 9 to 5 and, doing the same thing over and over and over again, seeing the same patients, and just being there for the patients in like one of their worst times.
Yeah.
I feel that with real estate, you're with people in one of their best times when they're purchasing their first house, when they're making that investment. So I felt that it just felt a little bit more comfortable, and I liked more of, real estate rather than nursing.
I like real estate. I did sociology with criminal justice.
Nice.
So when I came over from like the banking, especially like the real estate and seeing the people in their happiest moment, because there's nothing like giving that key to that person.
Yeah.
Saying we're closed, this is your home.
Yeah.
So what has you then after that? What has you saying I'm gonna stop nursing, or have you stopped nursing?
I have. I did decide I am a woman of do it all forever, and I do everything at once, and then I cry because I'm stressed out. But I'm
We
in
all do.
school right now. Yeah, I went back to school, so I actually got pregnant with
Okay.
my 1-year-old now. And I felt that it was too much on my body to be working, a full-time job and doing real estate, and that's when I decided to come into real estate full-time. Best decision of my life, because I feel like my numbers grew, and I had a lot of people in the sidelines saying like, you need to just quit, you need to just do it, and I finally did it, and I don't regret it at all.
Real estate is, some people have it as a hobby, and there's nothing wrong with that. But real estate takes a lot of time.
It does.
Showings, houses, having that client, like being there for them,
Yeah.
lenders, just making sure everything goes point by point.
Correct.
Once you made the change, did you feel somewhat relieved?
I did, even though, like, have you ever heard the saying that people say you leave your like 9 to 5 to go into a 24/7?
Yes.
Because that's really what it is, right? If a client's calling at 9 o'clock at night, you're picking up, you're texting, you're sending emails, you're submitting offers after getting home from a long day of like 2 or 3 clients. Um, Even though that was my new reality, it still felt like I was relieved. I was waking up at 3 in the morning to go into Yale, New Haven at 4
Oh,
a.m. and I had no time out. I had to do my 2 to 3 patients for the day, and if my day was delayed, I was there till 7, 8, 9, sometimes even midnight, from 4 a.m. to like midnight. So that to me it just wasn't a life. You know what I mean? Like, I know there's a ton of people that have done it there for a million years and they love it and they make, changes in people's lives. But for me, I felt that my freedom was much more important because with real estate, I'm not just tied into a hospital. I'm able to see multiple houses. I'm able to send emails from the comfort
Right.
of my own home,
I don't want you thinking either that not being in the medical field, you're not changing lives. You're giving somebody a home.
Of
You're
course.
making that dream possibility.
Yeah.
A lot of people, especially in the Hispanic area, right, or market and everything, even in Hartford, a lot of people struggle with, hey, like, how do I become an agent? And you're bilingual. So you're able to talk both languages and everything. So you're creating change. You're making somebody's life like, yes, I have this home.
Yeah.
3 families or something. So you said you have a 1-year-old?
I do. I have a 1-year-old. Her name's Clara.
Oh, Clara.
Clara.
Oh, that's a beautiful name.
Thank you.
How do you manage real estate and the baby?
It's hard. It's very, very hard. I think I don't have it down to the T. I don't think any mom will ever have it
No.
down to the T. It becomes hard at times, but it has allowed me to have that flexibility of being able to, I don't know, maybe send offers or do my typical daily MLS search for my clients from the comfort of my home while I'm there with her and she maybe is in the playpen or she's watching a movie or she's, doing X around the house, like it has given me that flexibility. Where it gets difficult, I feel like, is with showings. In today's market, something will come on the market like Thursday and then it's gone by like Sunday.
Yes.
So it's something that if my client says, hey, like I want to go see this, I kind of have to make effort. I have been able to manage, thank God, because of my mother-in-law and my mom. I can always drop her off there anytime I need, even if it's 2 or 3 showings wherever I'm going. And I feel that that's honestly the only reason why I have been able to get through this. And Jody is my partner in real estate.
Okay.
She's also a realtor. So whenever I can't go because it's only one house and it doesn't make sense for me to drive the baby to Stratford for one house in Meriden, you know what I
Right.
mean? Then Jody will actually go. So that's the only reason why I feel like I've been able to do real estate.
No, we need a partner. It's either
Yeah.
the broker here, Guillermo, he needs a partner. He needs somebody in the right hand. So it's
Correct.
always good to surround yourself with good other agents.
Yeah.
A tight knit will get you there.
Mm-hmm.
So you said that you've not quit, but you put your medical nursing aside. You've taken care of this beautiful baby, Clara. What then motivates you? What makes you a top agent? What do you think it is that clients want you to come back?
I feel that being Latina definitely has motivated me to continue doing real estate because it is very unfortunate that a lot of people in our community are not educated enough and think that it's impossible to own a house and you need X amount of money to be able to buy a house. And it's really those people that come to this country and they buy houses here. I find that so amazing. I mean, like these people come from nothing and they're able to own real estate here. The smiles, the achievement that I feel from seeing them achieve things, it makes me feel like a mom, I'm like, wow, I'm like so proud of you.
But it's like that. Just because you said it, we're Latinas and our community, I feel like sometimes they're scared overall of
Correct.
making that move. Who do I contact? Can I
Correct.
make this with the prices that they are and everything? People think it's unreachable. It's a goal that they can't. And I don't know about you, but my mom was all about save, save, save. In our Hispanic nature, we save, but then we don't put it. We don't know who to go to, where can I buy it, who can I talk to and feel
Correct.
safe. So that's very important. When you talk to a client, do you feel that's all they say? I can't buy or purchase a home?
Repeat that again. I don't know
No,
if I
that's
understood
fine.
it.
So when a client approaches you,
Okay.
you're talking or you're following up with somebody, is it always them thinking that they can't afford it?
It's always, yeah, actually, I do get a lot of these people that, think that because of their legal status, they can't buy, or because they don't report X amount of money into their taxes they can't buy. But, that's where I come in and I educate them and I let them know that there's multiple ways to be able to qualify for a house. I think everybody's stuck on the traditional conventional on FHA where it's like you have to be W-2, you have to have 2-year tax return. But there's a lot of ways that people don't know about. So that's where I come in and I educate them, and sometimes I tell them like my story, my life story on like how, I bought my first home and, kind of how I got to where I am, in terms of being able to hopefully motivate them to hopefully do something similar.
So I see your Instagram and your social media, and you do as well investment, and you talk about the possibility of buying a home and investment properties. So talk us a little bit over that, like what you do with your clients to motivate them to think of this as an investment as well.
Um, I do like if you have worked with me, I know that you know that I have said my life story a million times and I feel that I say it more in the sense of inspiring rather than like how I guess other people would take it as like showing off, but I like to tell people my story because I feel that if I don't know about you, but if you hear a story from somebody that you feel like you trust them, right?
Right.
You're like, well, if my sister did this, why can't I? You know what I mean? So that's kind of why I always tell my story, to hopefully motivate people to,
So now that
buy.
you're talking about your story, what is your story? Aside, obviously, from like how you got into real estate, if you want to.
Yeah, of course. So I first purchased my first investment property with my father when I was 19 years old.
Okay, young.
So yeah, we bought a multifamily back in the day before COVID and everything. Obviously I didn't qualify for a loan. I was, I
19.
think, a freshman in college. You know what I mean? So I didn't have the income or anything like that. So I ended up partnering with my father, and we bought a multifamily in New Haven.
Okay.
So that's how it started. I fell in love with being a landlord. I fell in love with how easy it is to kind of build that wealth. And because I did that purchase at 19 years old, when I first got into real estate, I was 21, so 2 years after. I graduated school, and immediately, like after I graduated school, I bought a fixer-upper. It was 180,000 in Hamden, needed a ton of work. I told nobody. I was not even my husband knew. Like I literally went there. I think my mom was the only one that went there, and I was like, "This is it." And so it was crazy because I don't know anything about construction, and I just felt like it was the right place for me to go. I was like, my mortgage is gonna be low. I could fix this up, build some equity, and then hopefully buy like my forever home. Um, so fast forward, bought the house. My dad saw it, was not too happy. My husband saw it, was not too happy.
Nobody was happy.
Everybody was like, Jessica, what did you do? You know? So you know what? It was already purchased. I had already signed. It is what it is. I'm like, well, we can't go back. You know what I mean? So like, let's just take it from here. Well, fast forward. We lived in it for 3 years, I think it was. We fixed it up little by little. My father helped a ton. We put a brand new roof, windows, everything. So every, real estate commission that was kind of coming in was kind of going back into the house. And it wasn't until this year that I sold it for 315. I purchased for 180.
Okay.
So I made a really good profit. I feel like I made a pretty good profit, and I was able to use the profit from that to purchase my forever home and an investment property.
Okay.
So the moral story, is that how you say it? The moral story is if you don't just go for it, like you're never gonna go anywhere. You know what I mean? So if I didn't just go for it at 19 years old, which what 19-year-old is thinking about purchasing a house? I guess I'm not sure. But that's how I was able to achieve. And now I just turned 27 this last week, and I feel that.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you. I feel that I have been able to do a lot more than, a lot of our typical 26-year-olds now that, with the economy, it's so hard. I mean, if I was to start right now at 26 years old to purchase my first home, I feel like it would have been a lot more difficult than it was for me to start when I started when I was 19 years old.
I agree. I agree.
But yeah, that's my story.
Well, it's a very motivating story. And I like that because when you think about it, that equity that you built, that money, you would have never been able to do that in a regular bank, just saving.
Correct.
that equity, that interest, you would
Correct.
have never been able to take out more than $200,000, whatever it is that you did. But it's a very good thing for our like Hispanic community to know that purchasing a home gives you equity, and that a lot of people don't know that either. So it's really good to motivate, to kind of like teach people how to do this.
Yeah.
So when I want to ask you, because I know that you're almost at 1,000 followers in Instagram. When did you decide to fully stop nursing this your work? Because I know the baby came a year ago. Was it at that time that you took your Instagram to almost 1,000?
It was when I got pregnant, so I would say 9 months before she was born. Yes, that is when I started to get a little more into social media, try to get a little more videos, more pictures, more reels, things like that. Because I felt like I'm a big believer of like getting business through Facebook, through Instagram. And majority of my business, believe it or not, comes from Instagram, even though I don't have that many followers, which thank you guys. Um, yeah, so that's when I kind of took it up a notch, and I was like, I need to promote myself. I need to get out there. So I started, being a little more active on social media.
I was even going to ask you, do you believe social media is a big part of your job? But you've already said yes.
Yeah.
Do you believe people really need to promote themselves or put themselves out there right now with like the digital age?
I think yes. I think that everything changes over time,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I feel like we kind of have to just get with it.
Adapt.
Yeah, we have to adapt. We have the newer generations graduating college right now, probably, looking to purchase their house in the next few years, and a lot of them are on social media. I mean, even my mom's on Facebook. My grandma's on Facebook.
Yeah, that's true.
Everybody's on Facebook. Aunt, uncle. I mean, I don't know anyone that is not on Facebook, you
So
know?
for the new generation getting ready to buy a house, what are some tips that you'd say? And let's say in a 3-year plan.
Okay. In a 3-year plan, I think that the newer generation should definitely um, look into their first home as not their forever home, more of like a stepping stone. I think a lot of times society makes it seem like you're going to purchase one home your entire life, right? And that's in this economy, I feel like it's not. I mean, if it is for you, that's awesome. But for majority of us,
It's
it's
not
not,
possible
right?
either.
You look at the budget and you look what's on Zillow, and it's just not
A
adding
little
up. You know what
difficult.
I mean? So I feel like something that I could say is use your first home as a stepping stone. I think that if you purchase something that's affordable, that's cheap, you live in it for a little bit, maybe you have your first kid in it, whatever it might be. In the next few years, it's going to build equity, and then you'll be able to use that equity as a down payment for your forever home, and it's going to be more affordable. That I think that's the biggest hack for real estate.
No, I agree. Especially if it's just like one person just purchasing a home, just being as a one buyer, it's
Yeah,
very difficult.
it's very hard. Yeah, very hard.
So, what other tips would you say as a top producer that you are? What other tips would you say to somebody that's starting in the field as a real estate agent in Connecticut at the moment?
Okay. Honesty. I
Yes,
think
please.
honesty is the biggest thing. I feel that people can sense when you're not your true self. People can sense when you're, just making it happen for the sell. I feel that to me, it is a lot more important to build that relationship with that client who will hopefully refer me to their aunts, uncles, friends, whoever it might be, than having somebody who maybe was at the edge of getting a house, or maybe the payment didn't make sense and I kind of pushed it through, because I've gotten people that have come to me that have said that they didn't like the realtor they worked with in the past, because they felt that they were just making a sell, even though that is our job, right? We make sales. I think far more important would be building that relationship with the client and making them feel comfortable and making them feel secure in their decision.
So, as possible agents that are watching us right now, you did say something about making a connection and referrals. How important is that to be authentic and for your client to feel that too in your business in the future to make those connections?
I think that is honestly the backbone of a realtor. At least for my business, the backbone's always gonna be to be authentic. Because like I said, majority of my business comes from referral from so and so set my number to so and so. So to me, it is important to keep that, to make sure that they trust me and they know that I'm genuine rather than somebody just trying to push a sell. Like I've had situations where like the inspection doesn't come out as good, right? And it scares them and they're ready to walk away. You know what? If they're ready to walk away, it's for a reason, right? They don't feel comfortable with what they're purchasing. I think that's where some, maybe another realtor would be like, well, look, we can do X, X, and X. And with me, I'll be like, well, how can we make you feel more comfortable? Is this something that we can fix, or is this something that you're like, I don't want it, And I respect that.
And again, I feel that makes me feel very good because you're not getting in a 3-year payment. You're not getting into like something you could, I can just put it away. You're living in a house. It's 30-year mortgage, let's say.
Correct.
It's something long lived. And let's say that person understands the equity. I think connection makes them come back to you. Makes them say, hey, I'm ready to buy now this 2-family. Hey, I'm ready to sell and upgrade my family. People grow. People outgrow their homes all the time.
Correct.
And just going out there and getting more is really important. But that connection, that safety guard, let's say, that you make is really important in that case.
Yeah.
What makes you say, you mentioned something about working with somebody, a partner. What makes you come into a team as a real estate, or let's say working with somebody for an agent or a person that's thinking going into the real estate?
I definitely think that when I first came in, I felt like I was a one-man show. I was doing everything, and it's fine. I think for somebody who doesn't have kids, who doesn't have other commitments, right? For me, I have a 1-year-old daughter. So if a client says, hey, I want to see this house tonight at 6, I can't just go drop off my daughter an hour away because my parents are in Stratford and then come back to Meriden to show just one house and then go back and pick her up and then drive all the way back to Meriden because I live in South Meriden.
I was going to say, I'm like, you're mentioning Meriden a lot. Where are we going?
Yeah, so I feel that if it takes money to make money, I guess that's the end story, right?
That is the story.
I found somebody that I trusted a lot, and she takes care of my clients just like I would. So that to me is important, building that relationship. And all of my clients know, like they already know her, Jody.
So that's good. Do you plan out when you're thinking about your weekly task, when you're thinking about like, how am I going to hit this week? Do you contact her, or do you think about your business and then she helps you out?
I think about my own stuff. She's kind of just somebody who helps me out. So if I say like, hey, can you take on this client this day, this time? And then she'll be like, yeah, sure, that's fine. I'm available. I'll send her whatever the client wants to see. And then she takes care of showing them and taking them out and making the appointments. I take care of more of like talking to the client in terms of if they have questions about the property or if they want to submit an offer. And vice versa. If I talk to the client, they say, I want to submit an offer and I'm away from my computer, then Jody kind of takes the role of writing the offer up and I just sign it. Or, if she's already been out all day and I'm home, then I'll take on the role of like writing the offer and sending it over.
I like these little like conversations, these podcasts, and getting to know the person because people glamorize being a real estate agent. There's so many videos out there that you're like lounging next to a pool and you're just like, booking like tours and everything. It's not like that. You need somebody. You need a little bit like of help sometimes because you're a mother. You have a family.
Correct.
Connecticut's large. Like you can't just get up and say, hey, like I want to see this house at 8 a.m. At 8 a.m, you might have like to do drop-offs. Your baby is a year, but you might have daycare. You might have something else going. So for people that glamorize real estate, what would you say to them?
It's not as easy as everybody seems or makes it seem. I feel like people see luxury, people see nice cars, vacations. They see, the realtor chilling by the pool and, just on a random Tuesday. That is not at all what it is. I feel that if you're a realtor, the busiest time of the year is when you go on vacation. When you go on vacation, your phone is not going to stop ringing.
Take it from somebody. I work in real estate. I'm not a real estate agent, but every time I leave the office, That's when agents just be like, Stephanie, commission, 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 commission. Like it's coming in, like something happened, an inspection, an appraisal. So it's true. When you go on vacation,
Yeah.
that's where it like
Yeah.
blows up.
Yeah, I take at least one vacation a year with my family, and my husband already knows like I need to have my phone, I need to have my computer in case something happens, which majority of the time I end up working when I get back to the room. But we got married 2 years ago in Mexico, and I swore I wasn't gonna bring my computer, and I still brought it. Like I tried to not clock in as much, but unfortunately, like that's just the way the industry is if you don't take care of it, nobody else will. You know what I mean? Your deals will go sideways and then they don't close. So
That was my next kind of like question as well, because family takes a big part of your life. Now, as you're a family woman, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And as a businesswoman, as a career woman, as anything that it is, how has now having a family, a baby, shaped your real estate career?
I think it has motivated me. I don't have an option. I have to get it done. I like now it's not, well, if it goes good, like when I first started real estate, well, if it goes good, it goes good. Now it's you have to do it because you have a kid to feed, right? You have bills to pay, you have a mortgage to pay, you have a car payment to pay. So to me right now it has shaped me with discipline because I have no choice. I have to make it happen.
And discipline is very important for agents overall.
Yeah.
Any real estate, any sales agent, really, if they want to thrive in this business, discipline.
Yeah.
What else would you say they need aside from like,
I would say mentorship. I feel like a lot of agents come into the industry, and I've encountered a few on the other side of the deal, and sometimes maybe they're not at the right place, or their broker doesn't offer the support that they're requiring, or the trainer, or whatever it might be, and then I catch myself kind of helping them out on the other end, which I'm very happy to do so, but at the end of the day, I feel like it should be, wherever you're working for helping you. I think that mentorship is very important, finding a place where you're going to get that support, where no dumb question is a dumb question,
correct?
right? Like no question is dumb. I think that's the most important is finding a place where you're going to get that support. It's not really about the money because when we all come in, nobody's making money, right? Unless you have, I don't know, a sibling that works in real estate already. We all kind of start from zero.
Do you find yourself mentoring, or do you look for people? Like, do people find you and, hey, I want you to be my mentor?
Um, I feel like I've given it a shot. I've never taken like an official position mentoring, but I do find myself like if there's a newer agent in the office, like I remember we got a couple new agents at My Good Agent. We were making a Wednesday meeting where we would go to the office, sit down, like cold call, do whatever, and kind of just work together. So yeah, I guess I would say I do find myself mentoring from time to time.
Would it be something that you actually look for in the future to actually sit down and be a mentor officially to somebody?
I think if I was to leave cells, yeah, because I do find myself a lot of the time, like my, selling and buying is obviously taking up
Yes.
majority of the time, and I'm in school full time. So maybe in the future, if an opportunity came and I was able to kind of like sustain that um, as an income,
Mhm.
sure. But I think as of now, probably not. I
Okay.
don't mind helping and I don't expect anything in return, but I don't think that I could fully commit to it at the moment right now.
And as you said previously, it's very important to find a brokerage, to find somebody where admin team or the support team is there. Because as when you start out, you only take the classes, then you're a little lost.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
find it here where once you come in, you have that training, you have that sit down, and we walk you through every system. Just because I have a lot of agents that come freshly, like their new license, they're like, what do I do? How do I do it? So, for somebody out and about, just somebody that wants to grow, what tips, what else can you say that you've learned, let's say, for the past year has helped you, either social media or your brokerage or a team member, a mentor? What would you say is like those tips?
I think it would definitely be like the brokerage that I'm in and social media. They kind of go hand in hand. Because I feel like any crazy idea that I have, my broker kind of supports, which is nice because if I'm like, hey, I think this would be good for my business, he'll be like, yeah, sure, just set it up, which is kind of nice because I know that he like believes that I'm doing things for the right reasons, right? And social media, I've been trying to really be a lot more active. I'm not the greatest sometimes. Sometimes I go a week without posting, but I've been trying to make, a lot more reels because reels catch more attention than like
Yes.
pictures and just be a little more active and informative on social media.
No, I 100% believe that reels, whatever goes trending is very important. I've seen your Instagram. I went through it. I'm like, who is this person that I'm
Yeah.
like having today? But yes, I do see it. And I want to say that authentic. I did see the Christmas picture, the Christmas video you put in
Oh,
your Instagram,
yeah.
and that caught me because it's a little bit moments where you're not just an agent, you're a mother and a family, and you have
Yeah.
your husband and you have everything. Um, and that caught me, and I put like because I was like, oh, look at this.
Yeah.
So it's those moments that captivate as well your
I
clientele.
try to share, I try not to get too personal
Mm-hmm.
on my that's why I separate like my regular Instagram from like my business Instagram, but I feel that sharing those moments kind of gets my clients in a sense where they could think like, wow, like that could be me, like that could be me, my daughter and my husband like putting up our tree next year for the house or whatever it might be. So I like to share those moments so that they see that, also I'm not just a realtor, like I'm a mom, I'm a human being, I cherish these moments a lot as well. And like this could also be you.
Mm-hmm. So where do you see yourself now that we're kind of like coming to this? Where do you see yourself? Say 5 years, 10 years. What's your long term plans?
Um, I want to continue being a realtor. I think that I kind of found like what I want to do. I don't want to say forever because like we all change, but I do see myself doing this and I see myself being a landlord. I already am a landlord and I think that in the long run I want to continue investing into real estate and just kind of, parking my money in these places. So hopefully, because I don't have a retirement fund, I barely worked like 2, 3 years. So it's just figuring out kind of something in the future where I could hopefully not work as much and have some income coming in.
I like what you just said because as a 1099, as a self-employed, as an agent,
Yeah.
you need to have these investment properties. Even anybody, just to when you retire, you want that income. So
Yeah.
it's very important to have that on the side. Do you see yourself expanding outside of Connecticut?
As of now, no. The only reason why is because like my father had properties in Texas and it was just a lot for him to maintain. So as of now, no, I feel that I would want to have everything local to me so that I can oversee everything, but I don't want to also close my doors and say an opportunity won't like come in another state, you
Right.
know?
I mean, Meriden is right in the middle of the state. That's that's why I live in Meriden too.
Oh.
Yes. But Mass is always around the corner. New York is always around the corner. So that's why it's just my question. As an agent, would you get your licenses?
I would. I would. If I could do Massachusetts, New York, I also tried to get the Florida one because I was actually going to move to Florida
Okay.
last year before I found out I was pregnant. Obviously that all changed because I had a baby,
And you bought
but
your forever home.
and I bought my forever home. Yeah, so like that's what I'm saying. Like you stick to one plan and it like changes
Mm-hmm.
to another thing. But yeah, I would. I think it's good to, not lay all your eggs in one basket. And if Connecticut, doesn't work out for me, I can always do Mass or Rhode Island or whatever is around us.
Okay.
I'm open to everything.
So I want to, and I have it right here. I have a game.
Okay.
We're gonna play a little. Okay. So I'll say a phrase and your answer, first thing that comes to mind. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. You have this already, but dream home style.
Ranch.
Okay. Must have feature in your home.
Open concept.
Your real estate superpower.
Being everywhere at once.
That's everybody's superpower, by the way. Most underrated home upgrade.
I would say paint color. Paint goes a long way.
Paint does. I've seen some houses that they're red and I can't see myself in a
No,
red
no,
room.
no.
Coffee order on a busy day.
I don't drink coffee.
You're a tea person.
I don't drink tea.
Oh, so water.
I'm a water juice person.
Okay, that's good. open house anthem, like hype song before you go in?
Definitely Karol G.
Oh, Karol
Karol
G.
G. Karol G is so inspiring. She's, boss babe. So I would say Karol G.
Oh,
Anything Karol G.
I would say that too. I
Yeah.
would say that, or like I like Bad Bunny, but that's just because the girls
Bad Bunny too.
in the office.
But I feel like if you're going into an open house, like you're expecting like a lot of clients and
Yes.
you want to feel powerful.
I know you do. So for anybody looking to talk to you about buy, sell, investment, anything that they want to talk to you about your life or agent, can you please tell us where they can follow you?
Yeah. You guys can call me 915-412-7274, or you can click below for my Instagram or my Facebook. Just look me up, Jessica Diaz Realtor.
Well, thank you, Jessica. It was really nice talking to you today, getting to know you and a little bit about your life.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Of
This
course.
is so fun.
Yes, it was fun. Cozy. Well, I hope you have a great day. And this is it for today's 5 Stars podcast.